Hey, that's it, y'all. Welcome to Speak Pink. Hey, yeah. Listen, what's up, everyone? Thank you for being tuned in to another wonderful episode of Speak Pink. I'm your girl, Reverend Ju, and I'm so glad that you are joining us this week for another exciting episode of Speak Pink. This series, we're talking about going from sunset to sunrise, embracing the sunrise. Last week we talked about embodying the sunrise. Today we're going to talk about embracing the sunrise. And it really is, this series, I'm really special to me because a lot of what I'm sharing is very personal for me. But I wanted to spend this summer giving a little behind the scenes conversation and sharing a little bit of my personal journey. And that's really what this podcast is about, is the things that I've experienced, learned, seeing, witnessing, growing through, and sharing that with you. And if any part of my journey can be of inspiration, motivation, encouragement to you, then, I've done my job and I'm living on assignment, right? And so let's talk about it. So we're talking about going from sunset to sunrise. Now, typically on documents, we might see going from sunrise to sunset where something comes to an end. But what about when something has come to an end and then the end becomes a new beginning? So I've had a couple of critical endings in the last couple of years, and which was the catalyst for this series, From Sunset to Sunrise. I've had a couple of very serious endings. One being, of course, the loss of my son, and then my marriage coming to an end. And then some other things along the way, a couple of friendships. And we all have come to endings. But I'm learning through this, y'all. I'm learning through this season that endings also are the opening, the catalyst for beginnings. Thus, the series Sunset to Sunrise. So if you've listened to our last two episodes, then you understand what we're talking about. If you haven't, I want to encourage you to go back. And so today we're talking about embracing the sunrise. But I believe in order to embrace the sunrise, we also have to embrace and really acknowledge the sunset and sit with the sunset a moment and embrace the loss. That's called grieving season. And a lot of what our culture has taught us is to quickly move through the grieving period. And in some cultures, some spaces, some situations, people aren't even given room or opportunity to grieve, and often are told things like, well, move on, get over it, the sun will come up tomorrow will be a better day. And while all of those pieces of information may have some truth to them, the other real truth is I have to embrace the sunset. I have to recognize that the sun has set in this issue. Part of what's beautiful about night season, and even in this pandemic, because I was home a lot more than usual, like a lot of people, I had another appreciation, or I garnered another appreciation for the moon, for the night season. Not that I became infatuated with or anything like that, but I just began to realize and embrace the night season, and that it's a beautiful thing when the moon comes up in the darkness and shines light on us. And part of embracing the night season is saying it's dark, but there is light even in the darkness. Now listen, I'm not woo-woo. I'm not trying to sell y'all on, hey, the rough parts of life were all sweet and pie and pie. But I am offering that embracing the sunset when something comes to a close, when something comes to its end, that in part of the embracing of that is also seeing the light in that. Where is there light? Finding light, discovering light, stumbling upon some light. I'm not sure how you get there in every situation, but I am offering that what I've learned is that part of seeing a sunrise is embracing the sunset, sitting with it for a minute, even grieving the sunset, going through the night season, really looking at the night for what it is. And in that process, discovering the moon that gives us light, discovering the star, discovering the little small things that bring light to the night season, and embracing all of that so that we can begin to embrace what will be next as it relates to a sunrise, what's coming after that. To embrace something means to hold it, to take it in, to sit with it, to let it be a part of who you are, to bring it in. And again, much of our culture teaches us to move past something, not to embrace it, not to deal with, not to contend with, but to move past it, move on, get over it. Women are often taught that, not just women, but men and women are often taught that when they have experienced some kind of sexual assault, just move on past it. People are taught that when they go through breakups, just move on to the next one. Best way to get over one man is to get under another one. Ha, ha, ha. You know, the best way to get over a chick is to get a new one, right? You lost one job. Well, if one door opens, if one door closes, another window will open. And so our culture teaches us this really unhealthy mindset about sunsets, about night season, things coming to an end, and we're supposed to just get over it. No, that's not healthy at all. I want to invite you to whatever your sunset is to embrace it. And embracing doesn't mean you like. Embracing means you sit with it. You take it in, you process it. You ask it some questions, interrogate it. Interrogate the night season. Figure out what you can learn from it. See if there's a lesson in it. What is maybe spirit, God, or whatever your faith tradition may be, what's the message in it? Is there a message in it? Did you have any part of it? Or were you truly a victim? And those things happen. And I want to encourage you to embrace the night season. But it's not about liking it. It's about sitting with it. And then once you have sat with it and you have learned from it, once you've sat with it and maybe even discovered the light in it, once you've sat with it and even processed what you can learn from it, now we can all begin to embrace the sunrise. Recognizing that the sunset doesn't last for forever. Now, it may last for a long time, and it may feel like forever, but soon and very soon, the sun will begin to rise. The night season, the sunset will run its course, and the sunrise will come. And here is the second piece to today's episode, is embracing the sunrise. Embracing that there is a new season coming, a new day coming, a new door, a new opportunity, a new situation, a new relationship is coming. And I want to encourage you to talk about it. I want to encourage this because part of what we can do is we can get stuck in the sunset. We can get stuck in the dark place. We can get stuck in the night season and even begin to see that there is a sunrise coming, but run from it, hide from it, desire to go back into the darkness, into the lonely place, the hurting place, the disturbed place, the rough place. Because the fear of what if this sunrise doesn't work out? What if this sunrise is tragic? What if this sunrise has with a load of problems? Yeah, that may all be true too. but we won't know unless you embrace it. I want to encourage you to embrace the possibility of opportunity, the possibility of a new season, the possibility of things getting better. We can get stuck in the night season sometimes and not even realize that I can actually have a better season, a better day. I can have a better experience. I can have a better next season. I can have a blessing. I can have joy again. I can have laughter again. I can have love again. I can have peace again. See, when we begin to embrace the sunset, it's really about embracing the possibility that you can have whatever you want, that you can have the love and the joy and the excitement and the enthusiasm and the grace and all the good feels. You can have that again, or you can have it for the first time, or you can have it better. So yeah, you may be going through a sunset. Maybe you might be in the middle of your sunset and you have to embrace that moment. You have to contend with it. You have to grieve it. You have to process through it. And there is a sunrise coming. And I want to invite you to embrace that as well. I want to invite you to embrace the possibility of what you can have soon, what you can have again, what you can have after the sunset season has passed. That the sunset doesn't last always. It's not permanent. And here comes a sunrise. And yes, there will be another sunset. But I want you to first embrace the sunrise and enjoy this new season, this new door, this new opportunity. Life is always in flux with sunrises and sunsets. And and hopefully this series will give you a way in which to ride the wave of the sunset and the sunrise. That even though we experience sunsets, we get to experience sunrises. And every time you have a sunset, embrace that moment, but also embrace that you will see a sunrise again. Embrace the newness of day. So even for myself, I'm embracing that even in the loss of my son, I can still have joy in life. I'm embracing that even in loss of a marriage and friends and some other things that have happened, I can love again. I can be in love again. I can enjoy life again. I can laugh again. And yes, there will be another sunset of some kind, but that's not the totality of my life. It's not the end of it. So I'm embracing the sunset and I'm embracing the sunrise. And hopefully, whatever wave you're on, you too will embrace the sunset so you can fully embrace the sunrise. Thank you for being tuned in to another episode of Speak Pink. I hope this helped you in some way to consider to embrace the sunrise that's coming. Embrace the sunset, but also have the courage. Also, be bold. Also, be open and allow yourself to embrace the sunset, the possibility of what can be again, or what can be for the very first time. I want to encourage you to embrace the sunrise. As it begins to peek up over your life, embrace what's coming for you. All right? Wonderful. Well, thanks everyone for being tuned in to another episode of Speak Pink. We're so glad that you have joined us. Listen, share this with someone, encourage someone, have a blessed week, and make sure to follow us at Living on Assignment Media and stay tuned for another wonderful episode. Follow us on Apple Podcasts, iTunes Podcasts, Google Podcasts. We're on all the social media podcast platforms. And have a great week until we meet again. Thanks for joining Speak Pink. Hey, hey.